Hey everybody, what's up? So first I'm gonna go over a few changes that you might be noticing right now. If any of you watch my prior streams, which I doubt you have because I have very low viewership on that, but I've made some changes to try and address that. First of all, I actually put that cover on this mic here so it sounds much better. It's not sucking in every single noise that occurs around me, so that's nice. And second, I'm actually doing this as a video instead of a stream because the streams just don't seem to get any viewership. Maybe if it's done as a video instead, it will work a bit better. So, if you haven't been here before, welcome to this edition of Building My Stock Watchlist. This is for, we're doing this on September 21st, 2025 for the upcoming week. I took Thursday night off because I was attending a festival. So I did actually watch the market on Friday, but I didn't enter any stocks because there just wasn't anything setting up well enough for me to actually do that. So all in all, the past 2 days of trading, Thursday and Friday, I've been a little disappointed with myself because I've been calling this over and over again, the market's ready, stocks are working again, gotta buy. And I just haven't gotten into anything besides this Tesla here. And that's not the end of the world. There's still some stocks that are sitting underneath their pivots. There are still, plenty of chances to catch a stock that's already trending. It's just a little bit disappointing because there have been stocks that have been breaking out on a day. I've gotten into it, and then for one reason or another, I've gotten scared out of it. I haven't put my money where my mouth is. I haven't had conviction, and I've missed a really, really good move in 2 or 3 stocks in this very cycle. So I can't allow that to keep happening. I think what I'm going to be doing moving forward, especially for the pullback buys, is I'm going to be doing my buys in a couple pieces. I think when I do all or nothing, I'm keeping things too tight. It's making me feel like I'm risking too much. So I think I'm gonna split my quarter positions into half and half buys. So for classic pivots, I'll probably just go with a full position. But for the pullback buys, when I see a stock and I feel like it's pulled back and it's starting to turn around, I might just take like a 12.5% position, put a 2% stop on it. So if I get stopped out, then it feels like a 1% loss on a regular position, which is no big deal to me. And if it works, if it goes up 2 or 3%, then I can just add the other half and put my stop at break even. Actually, maybe I won't pull it all the way up to break even because I feel like that's a recipe for disaster and getting stopped out more than I should. But you know what I'm saying? I can just add to the position and move my stop up a bit so I'm not feeling so much pressure on every single trade. So I think that's going to help a little bit with some of these issues I've been having. But all in all, I still think that there's a lot of opportunity. I think that things are going well, and we just need to take it one day at a time, never give up, never get stressed out. And that leads me to my disclaimers. Number 1, I'm not a professional. I've only been doing this for a little while. And number 2, this is not financial advice. It's just me showing you what I do so we can all learn together. So without further ado, let's get into this top 100 liquid stocks in the market, starting with number 1, which is Tesla. And yeah, Tesla keeping in very tight here. I wouldn't be surprised to see it give maybe a little back, but this is certainly just very, very by the book breakout here over this level, and I think I might pull my stop up a bit. I do like to use the spot trader for a trailing stop. You can't really just buy and sell based off of it because you probably get chopped up in consolidation. But in terms of once you've actually nailed the trade, this is a pretty good trailing stop in my opinion. You can adjust it based on where you want it to fall. So I think I'm about cool where my stop is. I think I moved it up to break even last time. I think I have this at 375, if memory serves correctly. So just going to adjust that. And of course I'll add this one to my watch list. And then NVIDIA, I'll take this off. It definitely skews your perception because you're like, oh, it's going to break through that and keep going. You just got to buy it when it happens. But then you can have these nasty type of pullbacks and really find yourself risking a lot more than you want to with the spot trader. So didn't mean to show that indicator off too much, but I do use it for a backstop. Anyway, NVIDIA, I was very wary when this happened. It seemed like action that just wasn't normal, and I was skeptical that things in the AI thing could work if NVIDIA wanted to live below the 50. Fortunately, it's retaken, and I guess you can kind of see that coming just based on how some of the AI peripheral stocks have been working so well that this one wasn't going to fall apart. But it's looking okay, certainly not a leader in terms of performance in the AI market anymore, but a leader in terms of its importance to that sector and what it means to the market in large. Apple, this one had a nice day. This one broke out over this level, and I don't expect it to just go running crazy, but it looks pretty nice. And Palantir, this one, this is one that I did hold before it broke out, but I don't blame myself for selling this one on a shakeout like this. I actually sold it much earlier, so it didn't hurt me at all. Probably should have bought it back on this day, but hindsight's 2020, and I was a little bit sick of the stock. Fortunately, with this one, it hasn't broken into all-time highs yet, so you should probably get another chance on this one. Just for me personally, I don't see why I need to be so laser focused on getting into this stock when it's had kind of middling runs. It's been very choppy. I can see myself getting taken out on either of these days. So, yeah, I just don't think it's for me, but I will watch it. And Google is, of course, doing nothing wrong, looking like the strongest Mag 7 name right now. Broadcom, this one shaking out down to the 20, so perhaps a potential turnaround in the works for this one, or a continuation, I should say. You can see it has dipped below this 50-hour moving average, so normally I like to see things retake that and start to pull upwards before I get in on a stock. You can see there's been quite a bit of distribution, just people taking own profits on this huge move, but overall still holding up quite well, hasn't broke the bottom of this range, so this one's still very much in play. And Amazon just kind of chopping along over the 50. And Meta, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Meta. I'm not sure on the timeline with this botched Zuckerberg demonstration. I don't think that would make or break the stock, but just my general feeling on Meta has not been great. It seems like they are looked at as an AI player, but don't necessarily have the results yet. I think Google's done a much better job as far as the Mag 7 and capturing AI. Meta, I'm not seeing any kind of thing that sets them apart. When you're a $1 trillion company, you should have the best products, and theirs just isn't really doing it for me. So we'll see what happens with this one, but probably not going to put that on the watch list. And AMD, you can see this one still underneath its 50, so a little weaker than your NVIDIAs of the world. And Oracle, this one looks like it may want to start moving back up. It may want to have a continuation. No shame in selling off a little bit after this move to break the low of that gap. So it could catch the tracks on one of these moving averages, which is when you could potentially get involved. But yeah, this one hanging in there quite nicely. Robinhood, this one, another one where I had it on this day, but it just reversed too much. Didn't break the lows of the day. Probably should have just put my stop at the lows of the day, but I didn't want to hold a position that I wasn't feeling good about, and of course that bites me. Now, I don't know why the volume was so large on this day, but this one is definitely one of my favorite stocks in the market. It's been good to me in the past, so I'll probably be looking for an hourly pullback on this one potentially, but we'll just have to see, I suppose. Yeah, why was the volume so high? This didn't show much volume, so I'm not sure what's going on with that one. APP, it's been a tank. I thought you might see this one pull back a little more, but it's just been trending so nicely after its S&P inclusion gap. And this one, yeah, not a lot of stocks recover after this kind of climactic action, but this one, it did repair itself and was able to go higher, which I'm sure was much to the chagrin of the ones who shorted this one, though they probably got out with a profit if I had to guess. But yeah, you can see this one just riding this 10-hour line. I probably wouldn't get into it now, but just very nice. In CoreWeave, I still think this is kind of a dangerous spot to get into this one. You want to see the 50-day line probably turning up before you get into this one, and also breaking this resistance high. MicroStrategy, just the Bitcoin theme. There's actually been some green shoots in the Bitcoin theme, but this one's had relative weakness to Bitcoin for a while, and it continues to be what I would consider to be a laggard. And I'm not going to be watching it because of that, so let me take that off. And we have Intel here. Big gaps up on the NVIDIA news, so we'll have to see what happens with this one. It did come blasting out of this base here at the bottom. That one's too crazy for me. And Netflix, this one just seems like kind of a tank of a company. It takes small hits, but it just keeps on chugging along, so nothing particularly wrong here, not showing strength certainly, but maybe an accumulation spot for the institutions down on the 50 there. And Micron, this is one of the ones I kicked myself over, got in and out, I believe, on this day here. So I think it was on this day here that I did that, but either way, it's a moot point. This one is far gone. It does have earnings approaching, so I guess I'll check out what happens to that. And Baba, just a foreign stock. I don't really like foreign stocks, but certainly this one showing a really nice trend here. And we have Coinbase. This one on Thursday started to show itself again. It's consolidating at the highs of this little area post gap down. So if we can see some sideways movement here, just some constructiveness, and then we push off, I think that's a perfectly valid time to get into Coinbase. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, this one could honestly just pull up on this chart here. So we'll this one certainly has gotten back into play in my mind. So we will continue to watch it and see if it can not fail this gap here. And Oclo, this is the one that I'm kicking myself over the most. I day traded this one a little bit on this breakout day back here, and since then it's gone on to do what, like 50% or so. So this one, I said at the time that this one could very possibly go on, but I didn't want to hold it due to a variety of factors. Just the character of the stock was to be pulling back after these big gaps, but I did say, since the whole theme was starting to work, it was very possible that this one was going to go up. And I also didn't want to hold it because it's a more speculative name, but despite my reasoning, despite the fact that I said, I'm okay with it, I'm okay with making money, this hurts. This hurts more than most, because it would have done such wonders for me this year, and it's just an opportunity that I pulled defeat from the jaws of victory, unfortunately. So gonna have to figure out how to do a little bit better on stuff like this. What can I say? I think this one really responded well to the interest rate cuts because it doesn't really make money, so it's better for it when it can borrow at lower rates. So gonna put this one on the watch list, but it's probably just going to be a painful watch for me. And SoFi, this one just keeps accelerating to the upside. I don't know, man. I don't know when this is gonna stop. Every single time I see it, I'm like, surely that's the last time that's going to do that, but this one just continues to get pushed higher. So there you have it, and we've got Circle here starting to make a turn. You do want to see this one show you a bit more before you get back into it, in my opinion. In CrowdStrike, okay. I was looking to see whether this one would break back above the 50 in order to bring cybersecurity theme back into play, and you can see this one has broken the 50 very cleanly. Now I would probably want to see a pullback to moving averages while this 50 turns upwards. That would be a potential buy point on CrowdStrike, but certainly a very good sign for your cybersecurity names. Let's see what PanW did. This PanW not having nearly the day. Let's check something like a rubric. This one not doing well. So yeah, this looks like CrowdStrike will be the leader in cybersecurity this time around, so we're just going to have to see how this one shapes up, and I will put it on my watch list. In Nebius Group, I don't know if you can possibly buy something this extended, but it looks like it does perhaps want to break higher, maybe if it could break this high. Yeah, this is certainly a fast mover, a momentum stock, massive heat on this one, but it does look like perhaps it might want to go higher, though it's not a sure thing yet. In GEV, this one kind of been living by the 50 lately. I think this might be a good spot to maybe try and get a piece. This is one where I can see myself perhaps trying to do maybe like a 25% position to start. And then maybe if it works its way up, I can add 50%. And then if we finally break through like this level, maybe and I have a nice little gain, maybe you can add the last part of the position. So this one, it's been kind of quiet, the energy theme has. It hasn't been acting quite as well as some of the other AI build-out type stuff, but still holding true above the 50. And yeah, this one, certainly very possible that I try to just start accumulating a little bit of this one. And here we have Reddit. This one, I did similar to some of the other ones that I sold too early. I sold this one too early, but it has been a bit of a wild ride. It's getting very volatile up here, so I'm not as bummed that I'm missing out on this action. So yeah, you can just see it's been a roller coaster ride on this one. That's not a great sign after it breaks out, but still holding above that 10, so you can't be too mad about that. Snowflake, this one I was very close to writing it off, but it has come back from the dead. Now this one is showing a lot of weakness to other AI names, but it looks like it wants to hold the bottom of this range, perhaps start to get a little bit tighter and then maybe move up. And we've got HIMS, which is just a stock that I stay away from. We have the quantum theme continuing to be a powerhouse. We have this one. This is an acquisition, I believe, so I'm not going to try and trade this one. And quantum theme looking good. ASML, this one going parabolic almost. So even the laggards in the semiconductor / infrastructure data center type space, I think that's what it's in. I think it's a straight semi, actually. Let me see. Haven't really paid much attention to this one because it's not been acting well. Let's see if I can actually drag this down. Development. So advanced semiconductor equipment system. So yeah, it's a semiconductor and AI infrastructure. This one has been a laggard in the space, certainly, but starting to go parabolic here. And we see Goldman Sachs, perhaps the leader in the banks, just trending nicely above the 10. A very institutional type name, I would say, and looking good. Same with Citigroup. ANET here, still trying to repair after this bad down day. It's fought to the top of that range. Let's see if it can continue on. Caterpillar accelerating to the upside. This one, perhaps maybe this would have been a good buy. I said, this one moves a little bit slow. I want to try to trade something with a little more heat, but it just goes to show you can't scoff at something that gains 20%, 30% in a matter of months. It's just, that's a very good return, and I shouldn't consider that to be slow. GE, kind of a similar situation. This one just kind of pulling up. IBM retaking its 50, I'm still a little bit skeptical until it can fill this gap and turn its 50 upward. SMCI, this is the laggard in the semi-space, let's be honest. This is just a catastrophic action here. Imagine how bad this one could get if some of the better names start to pull back. In MongoDB, this one looking like perhaps it does want to catch the tracks on these short moving averages, though you don't want to rely on those too much. Soundhound coming up to this high, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. This one's starting to look a little more like a actual stock as opposed to a meme stock. So we will see what happens once this base gets a little more developed. And we have Iron here, just a little too late for me to get on this one, but certainly it's a beautiful momentum move. And I'll watch it because I like to watch leaders. And here we have Roblox. It's an interesting case. It's had a very hard time clearing this overhead supply, this 1 day of overhead supply. And you can see it just, every time it gets up to this point, the seller step in. Every time it gets down to this point, the buyer step in. So things are going to come to a head sooner or later, I would assume. And we'll see which way this one wants to resolve. Okay. And D-Wave's just following suit with the other quantum names. And we have your Rocket Lab. This one is a volatility festival right now, and I would stay away from this. If you want to trade it, then go right ahead, but it's just for me personally, it's not looking good. You have some very ugly distribution days here, so no thank you. Here we have Spotify. This one actually looking quite good when you compare it to some of its sister stocks like Netflix. You can see this one starting to get tight at this spot here. This one similarly to your DoorDashes and your Netflixes, or more your DoorDashes, I would say. This one does not like to break out. It likes to pull back and just kind of inch its way upwards. So I don't really expect it to just break over this high. I expect maybe like a little bit of a jagged move, but it's watchable, I suppose. This one I never really address it just because it's so far down on the list of its theme in terms of liquidity, but this one has been a very clean, nice trender, and you certainly wouldn't be mad if you were in this one. Mara, this one has been a volatility fest. I will have to say that it's starting to look maybe a little more like a real basis forming here as opposed to some of the craziness we had back here. So while I'm going to avoid this name right now, it's looking slightly better. In Carvana, this one, yep, I gave it up on this day, which I'm not mad about. That was a very bad day. I tried it on this day and it just didn't work out. This one, similar to Roblox, trying to push through this ugly earnings day. And you can see that, yeah, it's starting to get out over this level. So we'll have to see what happens with this one. I think it will provide you another opportunity if you so wish to get in on Carvana. But trying to really push up into its all-time highs here. In Tempest, this is the one that I'm watching most closely. I don't really know what the probability is that it's going to work. I would say maybe let's just say it's a 50-50 chance that this one works. But I think if it does work, I think it's going to be a very explosive move out of this, first real base we have here. So this one, I'm certainly going to be watching it very, very closely. And yeah, you can see a very clean and obvious pivot here. So we'll see what happens with this one. And KLA, another kind of laggard in this space that's started to run a bit faster. And Bloom Energy, this one is a little too late for me. It's pulling into my scans a little bit too late because it wasn't liquid enough. But you can see what an amazing, amazing move, almost tripling in a matter of weeks. Wow, that's insane. I just look at this and it's like, if I saw it here, I would say, oh, it's too extended. But sometimes it's like something's making such a good move. It's got so much volume behind it. Maybe it's like, maybe it would just be the right move to just buy it. Put like a 5% stop on it and just buy it, because more times than not, maybe you'll come out ahead. That's something I'm thinking about experimenting with, but I'm going to try to stick to my process for now, but certainly this one tempting me to just be a little more cavalier and just get into the good names, because this is absolutely insane. Let me make sure my stuff is still recording. Yeah, looks like it. In Shopify, this one, I was thinking about it on this day, didn't get into this one. I think it might be moving a little more slowly than some of the others, though we haven't really seen it make a clean trend in a while. So if it does break out into all-time highs, I'm not quite sure exactly what that's going to look like. That being said, it's very obvious where the pivot is on this one, and you would probably have another chance to hit it before it breaks into all-time highs if I had to guess, but yeah, this one, a very obvious buy point. And this one, I actually went out of my way to manually add this back in. It fell to like number 105 on the liquidity list, but I've been watching this one closely. You can see this one showing a little bit of strength to GEV, and the fact that it's not on its 50 is actually near all-time highs. And you can see that it's shaking out, it's starting to respect this 10 EMA. And let's check out the hourly chart here. Yeah, looking really, really nice. So this one, if we see the power producers start to move, I mean nuclear started to take off, so if we can see the power producers start to move, I think this one could definitely be a good one. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. We've gone through all the stocks. Let's make sure we haven't gone over 25. Oh, we got 25 exactly. What a wizard. Okay, I think that's going to be it. Going to need to post this video. So I appreciate everyone for watching, and thank you.